Sagittarius, this is your energy check-in love reading. We're tuning into the person on your mind or your current situation and the energy unfolding for you right now. Let's see what wants to come through. Clear messages, advice, and guidance from my Sagittarius, please. All right, your energy, the Six of Cups in reverse. Your person, the Justice card in reverse, Libran energy. They're viewing you as the King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, showing up in reverse. All right, so it looks like this could be an ex, or it could be somebody that you're in little to no communication with. What you're not seeing is the Five of Wands, and the final outcome advice is the Nine of Swords in reverse. And we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is your energy, Sagittarius, but also the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. Now, I feel like a lot of my Sagittarius, you do recognize your worth and your value. And I think you're also recognizing how much you gave to this connection. And with the Six of Cups in reverse, I do feel there's an energy of melancholy or sadness, or maybe even feeling like things have been a little bit unfair. All right. And the Eight of Cups. But despite that, I do think that you're moving forward and you're walking away from something, like I said, that feels unfair or unjust, something that wasn't in alignment with you. But I do think like you still have a lot of deep feelings here for this person. But I kind of feel like you're going through, like you're feeling quite sad about how this has unfolded or how they've acted or behaved. At the soul level, you're viewing this person as the Page of Swords. So really strong air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I feel like with the Page of Swords, you're viewing this person as somebody who knows what they were doing or what they're doing. You may even know that this person is still kind of keeping tabs on you or wants to communicate. But more than anything, I get this message, like you're realizing like they knew exactly what they were doing, or they know exactly what they're doing. And you're viewing the connection as the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this may be something that was holding you back. I think there's a lot about this person or this connection that you felt was really compatible. Like you and this person were really on the same page. You know, you liked the same things, you wanted the same things. But with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you're recognizing that it's time to let go and walk away. And I feel like that's for a lot of you with a really heavy heart. Now, this person, we see the Three of Cups, and when I cut the deck, we see the Two of Cups. So this person does feel like you're a soulmate. They do feel like you see eye to eye. They do feel like this is a really special connection. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the oracle cards. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Sagittarius, please. All right, so uproot bad habits. You have let bad habits take hold of your life. It's time to uproot them and start fresh if you want to see a positive change in your life. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. You may feel like this person or this connection was a bad habit. Now, Spirit's saying spiritual growth. Prioritize your spiritual growth and don't allow the cares of life to squeeze out your goal to grow spiritually. So right now, it's a time to focus on you. It's also time to focus on your spiritual growth, your spiritual health. All right, and Spirit's saying, Sag, even though it might not feel like it or you might not be fully convinced, nothing is lost. So know that when you lose something, try to remember that there's always a deeper meaning, that anything you lose comes around in another form, and no matter how bad things may seem, all is not lost. Okay? Spirit's also reminding you about transformational relationships. Surround yourself with good people, and you'll find that previously unimaginable horizons will open up to you. Okay? So that's it for those of you that may be looking elsewhere, but it's also just a reminder, Sag, of paying attention to who's in your top 5. Remember, the people around us, they influence us in such a big way. And, you know, you want to be around people that want the same things as you, although you don't have to be exactly the same, but your values have to be in alignment. All right, now with the Justice card in reverse, I do think that this person may be currently acting aloof or superficial. I think this person realizes that they were acted unfairly or unjust in this relationship. And I also think they realize that if they want another shot with you, it's them who's going to have to make it up to you. They're feeling the weight of this separation or this lack of communication. Yeah, the Ten of Swords, they're feeling the weight of this ending. All right, the Nine of Cups energy in reverse, they're feeling emotionally exhausted. But I also think we need to be cautious of the Nine of Cups in reverse, Sag, because it certainly can be somebody who wasn't putting in the work. This may be somebody who enjoys party time, right? They enjoy the fun times. But when things get difficult, they walk away, or they weren't putting in effort to repair. They may have said things like you're too much or you're overreacting when you were just expressing your feelings or expressing that you felt like something was off or not right or unfair. And we see the Page of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So Sag, there's a lot of confirmation in this reading that you're dealing with somebody here who's quite emotionally immature. Somebody who they themselves may have, I don't know if they were juggling you and somebody else. I mean, that could be the case. But the Page of Wands in reverse is somebody who acts foolishly. It's someone who has one foot in the door and one foot out. And, they weren't pulling their weight in this connection. And I think, you finally had that wake-up call, or you realized, I can't be the one that's always fixing, always doing, always, making this happen. So they're viewing you as the King of Swords in reverse. So I do think a lot of you might have this person blocked, or you might not be in communication with them. But I also think we need to be a little bit careful, because you are dealing with somebody here who is a bit, they care about appearances, and they're a bit emotionally immature, and they may be projecting onto you being selfish, self-absorbed, or even a narcissist, right? And I could see that with their actions, their behavior, their energy. They may be villainizing you in their own story or even to others. Okay, we see the Three of Pentacles. Deep down, they do feel like you two are compatible. This person may still be around you in some capacity. I don't know if you work with them or you have mutual friends or, your neighbors or whatever it is. But it's interesting because you did also see this as quite a compatible connection. Like, you get along really well, you have similar interests, you're on the same page, you want the same things. This person may still believe that there's a chance to work things out with you. King of Pentacles in reverse. But again, I'd be careful, because sometimes the King of Pentacles in reverse indicates someone who they see as superficial. In fact, I think with the Justice card in reverse, they're the superficial ones. And I also think that they're frustrated and they're triggered because you're no longer trying to make this work, that you're no longer giving everything you can to work things out. And they're viewing you as the Magician, Virgo, Gemini energy. So despite everything here, Sag, this person sees you as someone who checks all of their boxes. And I am getting like a little hint of jealousy, because I do feel with the Magician, they feel like you can manifest whatever you want. Like, they might believe that things come easier to you or were handed to you more so than them. I don't think that's the case. I think you put in the work, and I feel like this person doesn't. So their energy here is the Five of Swords in reverse. So they're detached, but they certainly do want to fight for this connection. But the one thing I really don't like that I'm picking up on is their energy of, I don't know if they get mean or nasty when they're feeling activated or they're feeling triggered. I kind of feel like this could be somebody who has outbursts, acts foolishly, says things that they regret, try to make things everybody else's fault. You need to really be aware of that, because I do think this person lacks quite a bit of accountability. All right. I know these are tough messages, and I know they're not going to be for each and every one of you. So if it isn't resonating, you may want to check out your other signs, your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. I also like to check out my North Node when I'm dealing with a soulmate type situation. All right. So this person is showing up as the King in reverse. I'm not surprised. Gemini, your opposite sign, also got this card for their person. And this is somebody who has excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. So you may be dealing with somebody who's entitled. You might be dealing with somebody who's used to getting their way. Somebody who's used to also being like, well, yeah, this is how I am, just accept it. When really, it's not acceptable. All right. And we see the Advocate. So embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. I definitely see that with this person. You know, I feel like this person sometimes lacks compassion. I think this person is probably prone to gossip. I think this person probably wants to control the narrative behind the scenes and probably villainize you, Sag. Okay, even if they come back around trying to win you over, it's like they want everybody to see their side of the story. And they're probably much louder than you are. But I also think that this person, you know, realizes what they're losing. Okay? Now, let's see how they're viewing you. How are they viewing you? All right, so they see you as a guide, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Okay, so they may see that other people look up to you. In a lot of ways, they may look up to you as well. All right, and we see storyteller, so making up tales that harm others. So again, this person might be worried about what you're saying about them behind the scenes. I don't think this person necessarily feels like you're a liar, but like I said, I do get this energy of this person wanting to control the narrative behind the scenes. And I'm not really trusting that energy because I feel like they need to be coming in with accountability, but meanwhile, more so they want to control how other people perceive you and how other people perceive them, and kind of swapping the energy where like they're the good guys here. So I'd be very, very careful, Sag, with this energy. All right, the Five of Wands tells me behind the scenes, they're probably experiencing a lot of drama and conflict, and most likely that's in other areas of their life, because I actually feel like this person probably has one of those personalities that are a little bit difficult to work with. Again, a lack of emotional maturity, and especially because this person might not be super young, right? But they lack emotional maturity, so I feel like it causes a lot of problems in their life. We see the Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy. They're not fully ready to let this connection go. The Queen of Cups in reverse, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, and strong Scorpio there with the Death card. This tells me, though, that this person is emotional behind the scenes. They're conflicted. I also do get that this person is feeling quite emotionally drained, because I think whatever's going on here is requiring them to take a little bit of a harder look at their own actions and behavior and what they're losing. But I'd also be very careful, because Scorpio energy in its reverse can be somebody who's vindictive. It can be somebody who behind the scenes is manipulative. Okay, so they may be being emotionally manipulative behind the scenes, which I am picking up on. And we see the Lovers in reverse, Gemini energy. So there could be third party around them. But I feel like if that's the case, it's either something that they're doing to make you feel jealous. Could also be that this person was always dishonest with you, okay? Or they were dealing with somebody else. Because I don't feel like this person is really integrous, Sag. And again, I mean, I feel like you're starting to pick up on that. But I kind of feel like this person does things is sneaky. I think they're manipulative. And I think that they're probably somebody who, since you're not giving them attention, they're either trying to make you jealous by being with somebody else, or, you know, they just are somebody who maybe doesn't like to be by themselves. And I feel like that's exactly what they need, is like a heavy dose of self-realization and accountability. Now, the Nine of Swords in reverse tells me this is going to be a repeating pattern with this person. Okay, so I think there's a really big red flag in this reading, Sag. All right, the Six of Cups. They may come back in for reconciliation, and in fact, you may still have sweet feelings for this person. All right, Temperance energy in reverse. They may come in for reconciliation. It may turn your world upside down, because, you know, I do think that two things can be true at once. I mean, we're picking up on a lot of negative aspects of this person, which a lot of my Saggies you may need to hear. And again, there might be something in the Gemini reading that I just did, because there's some similar energy here, and we do have the Gemini Major Arcana, and we have the Sagittarius Major Arcana coming through, and you two are opposite signs. But, you know, I think we're seeing the truth. We're stripping away the layers and seeing the truth of the person that you're dealing with. But two things can be true at once, Sag. You can still really care for someone and realize that they're not right for you, or they're not where you need them to be. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting with the Six of Cups and Temperance energy in reverse. This person needs to heal, or this person needs to be brought into balance. I'm sorry, that sounds weird, like somebody else can do that for them, because nobody else can. They need to find their own balance. All right, and it's time to start something new, Aries energy. And I don't know how long you've been dealing with this person, but I think a lot of my Sagittarius who are still with me here, you're realizing with a very heavy heart, this is not in alignment with you, and you may need to move in a different direction. All right. Your person, Emperor energy, Aries. Now, I do think that they're going to step up and try to make things work. All right. I don't know if it's too little, too late. I mean, only you're going to know that, what's happened here, and whether or not you want to give them another shot. And is it you walking away that's triggering this? Or is it something that they really, truly want for themselves? Let's see what else we need to know about this person or this connection or this situation. Yeah, they're sneaky. I do get that. Queen of Cups and the Death card in reverse. These are red flags for me. I feel like this person doesn't always act above board. I think they're manipulative. I think they do things behind your back, others. Yeah, most likely there's third-party stuff. And, you know, even if there isn't third-party stuff, I do think this is exactly the type of person that's going to try to make you jealous. And they may have been very jealous of you as well. Or they may have been, you know, that might have been an issue in your relationship. But most of the time, Sag, people who don't cheat don't usually accuse others of cheating, right? That's not always the case, but a lot of times that is true. So I want you to be careful. They might also just be trying to put some doubt in your mind, whether or not they were with somebody else or they are with somebody else. Again, because they want to make you feel bad. They want to make you feel as bad as they're feeling right now. All right, and we see surprise. So this person may surprise you that they're coming in for a new beginning here. Okay, that they want to try to make things work. Let's see what they want to say to you. Now, I mean, they are showing up in Emperor energy, so it does depend on what's happened between the two of you. But again, I wouldn't take anything here at face value. I would absolutely, if you are even considering giving this person another chance, and a lot of you will not, but some of you might, then you need to make sure that their actions really do line up with their words. So many things remind me of you, Sag. So they're getting constant reminders. I want to make amends. So this person wants to heal things. And you broke my heart. Yeah, but again, they may be making it all your fault. And for those of you who have decided to walk away from this connection, they might play the victim here. Be careful with that, because I do get an energy of emotional manipulation. Okay. What else do we need to know about this person or this connection, please, for my Sagittarius? Time apart. Some distance will help bring clarity. Okay. Some of you may have been married to this person or thought this connection was moving into marriage. This person may propose like a long-term commitment here with you. And they feel regret and remorse for the way they treated you. Okay. So some of you, there's not much to think about. You already know. For others of you, there's a lot to think about here. But Spirit's saying that there are unhealed wounds that are blocking forward movement. And that's something that you do really, really need to take into consideration here. Okay. Final advice and guidance for my Sagittarius. Stay grounded. You're being asked to ground yourself. You've been spending too much time in your head, and it's time to pay attention to your body and to the earth. Go outside and plant your feet on the ground and enjoy the centering feeling this brings. Stay grounded, Sag, and trust yourself. Because a lot of you, I think you already know. You already know, you've already made up your mind, even if you're feeling pulled in two different directions. You've got this. You've worked hard to get this far, and you have the ability to create the things you desire. Learning to trust in yourself and your abilities will take you to your highest timeline. And for a lot of my Sagittarius, I think it's going to be taking you to a transformational relationship, because unimaginable horizons will open up for you. All right, my lovely Sagittarius, I know these are some tough love messages, and if they're not resonating, that's completely okay. Do check out your other signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and also your North Node, and have a beautiful day. Take care.